Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so very grateful if you clicked on this video, are interested in my 20-week pregnancy update. I cannot believe I am halfway to seeing the baby. It does not feel real. It feels like it went by very quickly, and it just is so surreal because I'm halfway there, and I can't believe I'm having a baby still, and I can't believe like any of this is even happening. So I'm going to share with you today a little first trimester recap, some things about pregnancy that I did not expect, and maybe just some tips or advice on how to survive in your first trimester and how my second trimester is going so far. So I have my notes right next to me, so I'll be looking over at those. And I wanted to start with before I actually knew I was pregnant, the symptoms that I was feeling. So the only indication that I had that I was pregnant was that I missed my period, because I literally thought I was going to start my period. Like, I had all the same symptoms. So I was moody, and sometimes I get like sweaty, and depending on the month, sometimes I have bad cramping, sometimes I have bad cramping, sometimes I don't. And I was having some cramping, which I now know is implantation, like I guess when the egg implants, and like during the early weeks you can have cramping. So if you have cramping, no, that's normal. I did not know that was normal, so I was a little bit freaked out, and I asked my mom, and she's like, yeah, that's normal, and if you just look it up, you'll see like it's totally normal. Extreme fatigue, but I didn't notice it as much at first, but Andre definitely noticed it, that I was so tired all the time. I waited until a day after I was supposed to start my period to actually take a pregnancy test, and that was when I realized that all the symptoms that I thought were period symptoms, they mirrored my period symptoms exactly. Oh, and I also, my obviously breast tenderness, that was a little bit out of the normal, but I still thought it was just all part of that. So I took 2 pregnancy tests. One was like a little just regular 2-line. It was like 80 cents from Walmart. And then I took this clear blue pregnancy test. Let's see if it will focus. Well, we all know it says pregnant. It says she pregnant. Is this backwards? Yeah, whatever. And this was like $18 at CVS, really expensive. So I don't know why they make it so expensive, but it tells you that you took the pregnancy test. I think I was about 5 weeks pregnant. And after that, I like felt pretty normal, minus like some cramping here and there, but it wasn't like super bad at all. And then when I hit the 6 weeks from my calculations, I got this stomach bug that was like going around like in my family, like my grandparents, my siblings, everybody was getting it, and I got it. And that was the first time I was like really sick during pregnancy, but it wasn't pregnancy related. It was like a 24-hour stomach bug. It was so horrible. I literally would go in the bathroom, throw up, fall asleep on the bathroom floor, because I did not feel good. Like, I could not bring myself to go from the bathroom, which is like not even that far, over to our bed. It was really horrible. Andre and I had a gig together, and I couldn't go because I was just like so sick. I feel like that kind of like jump started my morning sickness, and it felt like I never fully recovered from being sick. I'm really grateful because it was not horrible. Like, I know it could have been so much worse because I didn't throw up. I was never so nauseous to the point that I did throw up. Never really felt like I even had to throw up, but my stomach just felt like so unsettled all the time. I was constantly hungry. I would wake up and be like starving. And it's really interesting to me because they have like those like little guidelines of like how much weight you're supposed to gain like by trimester. And they're like, you're not really supposed to gain that much weight in your first trimester. And a lot of times women lose weight because they're so sick and they can't eat or keep anything down. And I was like, I do not understand how, because I was so hungry, and eating was one of the things that really helped to like take away that uneasiness that I felt and like that slight like sickness that I felt all the time. So I was like, I was really ravenous in my first trimester, and it was so hard to eat healthy and to eat like the normal foods that I eat, just because I just was so hungry and I didn't want to have to cook. One of the things that started was phlegm. This is probably a little bit gross, but I started to have like an excess of phlegm, and I still do have that, and it's very, very, very annoying. It's interesting because my mom had this symptom too, at least with her last baby. Like, I'm not even sick necessarily, but it's just there. What else? I could not work out as much during my first trimester because I was so tired. I did, when I could, very light workouts, but I did not try to push my body. The amount that I had to pee was so much. I wasn't really that much thirstier than I was during my first trimester, or I mean during before I was pregnant, but apparently it's like something to do with your hormones, because oh my word, because I was thinking like, how do I have to pee so much and the baby isn't even like big enough to sit on my bladder? But I would wake up like even in the middle of the night at least twice, so I had to kind of put a cutoff because I wasn't thirsty during the day, and then at night I would get so thirsty because I hadn't hydrated myself nearly enough, and then I would have to pee all night. And every single time I wake up in the middle of the night, Andre also wakes up, and then he doesn't get as much sleep as he would like because he's been up all through the night, just like me. That was basically my first trimester. It was really, I'm so grateful because it was not terrible. The second trimester so far is not terrible. It is also a lot different than I was expecting, because you hear like lots of stories of like people saying either they were still sick through the second trimester, which is rare, but mostly you hear people saying like, I have so much energy and like I like feel like completely normal as if I wasn't pregnant. And that's really interesting to me because I'm like, how do you feel like normal like you weren't even pregnant? Maybe it's just because this is my first pregnancy, but I am still a lot sleepier than I was before. My stomach, the morning sickness is definitely pretty much, it's gone, but I have noticed that foods have affected me. Like unhealthy foods affect me a lot more. And even if they don't make my stomach upset, of course, you get really, really bad heartburn. And if you've been pregnant and have had heartburn during pregnancy, it's like another level of heartburn. I don't even know. It's like intense and it hurts so bad. I'm also not as ravenously hungry as I was, still eating a lot more. That's one of the things, like I never feel like I'm all the way full, or I'll feel full for like a couple minutes and then like go back to being hungry. But at the same time, I'm not hungry like 24/7 like I was during my first trimester. So that's very nice because I really don't want to gain all the weight in the whole wide world, you know. I can finally exercise more, which is so nice. I still do the same workouts as I did before. So like I'll still do strength training. I'll still do high intensity interval training, or, you know, Pilates, whatever. But I give myself more grace. I am not afraid to modify the workout if I have to, and it still feels like the same level of intensity as if I was doing a full out workout. I can finally feel the baby move. I first felt him move probably at around 16 weeks was when I first was like, I think that might be the baby, because I wasn't like 100% sure. One thing you can feel is like the pressure of like the baby moving a little bit in your stomach. Like you can just tell And then also just like the lightest like kicks or like punches, whichever limb extremity he's using. And so that is very cool to feel. It's just so sweet. I just love it. And also in the second trimester, have not had to pee nearly as much, which is very, very nice. What?
Hello.
Hello, darkness.
I just wanted to check up on you.
Thanks.
How's it going?
Good. So I have not had any major cravings. Ooh, I just felt the baby. I just felt him kick or something, whatever he does in there. I have not had anything where I was like, I really like cannot get this off my mind. If I don't eat this now, like I'm gonna go crazy type cravings. And I also haven't had any major aversions. In the first trimester, I had a little bit where I just was not wanting like the typical food that we eat. The main things I can remember were homemade burgers and steak and potatoes. Those were things that I was just like, I did not want. It was just like so unappealing. Like I wouldn't like get nauseous, but I was just like, the thought of it was just like, no thank you. But I have wanted more fruit, I guess. Apples are really good. They always settle well, and they're so good. And I haven't had like a heightened sense of smell or anything like that. Some things that I was not expecting. Round ligament pain. I had not heard of that until I was pregnant. You just get like pains, like aches and pains in like your abdomen and like your lower stomach and everywhere, and it's just everything inside of you just stretching, growing, moving. For me, it's not like terrible, but it still hurts, and it's not a constant thing, but I just was not expecting that. That's one of the things where I'm like, how do you forget like in your second trimester that you're pregnant? Because like this hair is crazy. Because like for me, this is when I'm starting to experience like feeling the baby moving, and when I'm starting to experience like round ligament pain and things like that. I also wasn't expecting tailbone pain. I had some back pain, but even since the first trimester, I've had tailbone pain where if I'm like sitting too long and sitting on something that's not cushioned, or like not well cushioned, like a bed or something, then my tailbone will hurt so bad when I get up. The other thing, so prenatal vitamins. I took a brand of prenatal vitamins in the first trimester called Rainbow Light. And it's really good because it's like just, there's no sugar. If you look at the ingredients of prenatal vitamins, it is very, very hard to find one that is just straight up like vitamins and like fruits and veggies and just like super natural. And so that's what Andre and I wanted to get. But one of the things about prenatal vitamins that I did not know is that they have side effects. One of the side effects is that they can make your stomach upset. And I think that sometimes they did make my stomach a little bit upset. And the other thing that I was not expecting, but is apparently very common, is and this probably happens with other vitamins too, but they turn your pee like bright green, almost like neon yellow. I don't even know how to explain it. I was like, I must be so dehydrated, like there must be something wrong with me. So I looked it up, and apparently it's your body getting rid of an excess of the vitamin B2. So if your pee turns bright green, it might be because of vitamin B2. Oh, and the last thing that I was not expecting going into my first ultrasound was they tell you to drink a lot of water. Your bladder has to be not even so full. It has to be all the way full. So when we first went, Andre was with me, and then they called just me back, and the lady, I didn't know what she was doing at the time, but now I know she was doing like a full like anatomy scan, just like making sure the baby had like, you know, his stomach, his kidney, like everything was developing right. She was taking so long, and one of the reasons why is because to be able to see the baby, she had to wait for my bladder to fill all the way up. And I did not know that that was how they were able to see the baby. That was so miserable. There's been times where I've had to go to the bathroom so badly, but I don't think my bladder was ever completely full. And her like moving the little thing across my stomach was like, I was literally praying like, God, please let this hurry up. Like, please let her be done. Like, I can't, I'm about to pee myself. Like, it is the grace of God that it did not pee myself right then and there. Something that I have been really enjoying during my pregnancy is the app that I've been using to kind of track my pregnancy and the baby stages of development, and that is the before you were born. No, that is the what to expect app. It just goes into detail week by week of how the baby's developing and growing and what you can expect, and also what you can expect for yourself, and helps you to kind of figure out like, okay, this is normal, this isn't normal. And I just love seeing how the baby is growing. I was so surprised even in the earliest weeks how much the baby developed and how quickly, and it was just so incredible. So I would recommend that app because it's totally free. You just put in your due date or your expected due date. It's really great. We found a birth center, which is really awesome. We didn't go with a traditional, well, the conventional OBGYN. I love the midwives there. So far, it is a really great experience. I will be giving birth there. I'm really excited for the frequency of appointments to increase because right now we're still at every 4 weeks, I think. If I could offer any advice or any tips for anybody who's pregnant, eat as healthy as you can. You know what? I just remembered I actually was praying and prayed before I got pregnant and in my first trimester that I would not have any major cravings or food aversion. Like, I prayed and asked God for that because I did not want to be craving like brownies and cake and ice cream, a ton of fried chicken, which obviously, you know, you have to have moderation. Like, just because I crave it doesn't mean I'm never going to eat that craving, but I just did not want to like constantly be wanting like really unhealthy food. Do your best to eat healthy. I think that will make such a difference. For me, it did. I can tell when I don't eat healthy and when I do eat healthy. First of all, your baby is growing. Whatever you eat directly affects the baby. That's one of the like most important reasons. Your baby is taking all the nutrients from the food that you're eating, basically. So it is even more important when you're pregnant that you eat nutritious, very nutritious food, because you need as much of that as possible. And in my opinion, prenatal vitamins are good, but they're not good enough because of the way our body absorbs them, and our body doesn't absorb most of the vitamins, hence the green yellow pea. It will just make you feel so much better. When I haven't eaten healthy like many days consistently, I've gotten sick. Not only is the baby taking as much nutrients as possible, but your immune system is a lot lower, so you're more prone to get sick. I definitely indulge in, you know, having healthy meals or, you know, dessert, whatever, every once in a while, but I make it a priority to eat very healthy. I want to get the baby nutritious. It's just not worth it. Like, pregnancy, I know that everybody says like, oh, like eat whatever you want, blah blah blah, which obviously you can, but like in my opinion, just the way I view is like pregnancy is not the time to let your health go, because your body will feel the effects of that. I feel like if I hadn't eaten the way that I did as much as possible, then I think I could have felt a lot worse. And I know that I did feel a lot worse when I did eat unhealthy. And I know it's hard. It's so hard, especially during the first trimester. Like, just give yourself like so much grace. Like you don't have to go be like a healthy keto nut nerd, whatever, but when you can, when you're feeling up to it, then you just do the best you can. And that goes the same for exercising. During the first trimester, I made it a point to exercise when I could. And I know that will benefit me throughout my pregnancy and throughout postpartum. Just be healthy for your baby. This is not the time to let yourself go and to be lazy. That's something I always keep in mind whenever, you know, if I don't feel like working out, you know, for whatever reason, when I'm like so tempted to buy like unhealthy food at the grocery store and I'm grocery shopping, remembering like this is not just about me, and it's not just about me right now, it's about my future and how I want to heal, how I want my body to be postpartum, and also most importantly the baby inside of me. What you do now in pregnancy, I know has an effect on, you know, your baby when he's or she is born. What you eat can affect what kind of foods your baby likes. Even spiritually, the emotions and the different things that you struggle with, those things get passed onto the baby too. So those are also some things that I really strive. It's really hard. Emotions, mood swings, it's so hard. It's been harder for me in the second trimester, and I just pray for my baby. I'm like, oh Lord, please, because it all has an effect. Really don't stress, don't overdo it. Pregnancy is amazing, it's beautiful, it is natural, but at the same time, when you first get pregnant, and I imagine it's the same way with the second pregnancies too, it's an adjustment for your body. Like your body is really changing, and so don't overdo it, don't stress, just do your best to be the best mom that you can be for your baby while you're pregnant. So I think I covered everything. Obviously, pregnancy is it is different than I was expecting. At the same time, it's not. It's just I'm just going through life, and this is happening, and it's really great. But I love being pregnant, and I just want to share the message that pregnancy is amazing. It's beautiful, all these symptoms and everything. Like, I would go through it again and again if I had to for my baby, because it is just so worth it. So I'm already like doing the whole rubber band thing, but it's definitely getting bigger. It's kind of small. It's like smaller than I thought it would be for like halfway through the pregnancy, but it's growing. Can't wait till I'm like obviously pregnant, because that'll just be super nice. I'm really excited because I have lots of video ideas for my YouTube channel, different things about just homemaking, pregnancy, motherhood, femininity. Those types of things are things that I'm growing really passionate about, and I would like to share. So if you would like to see them, please make sure to subscribe, like this video, comment below, and let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.